Just for 1 minute.
You are live.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Pietri Odendaal, and I'm the head of the School of Financial Planning and Insurance. Welcome. We are a small group today, so I'd like the session to be interactive, and I appreciate if you want to type questions in the chat box as I'm busy with my presentation, or to add your question to the Ask a Question box that you see at the bottom of your screen. So you have been invited to this session today as you have been already admitted onto a qualification in our school, but you have not yet registered for your first module. Congratulations, firstly, on taking the first step in your learning journey. Our goal today is to help you to take your next step, i.e. to register for your first module. In this information session, I'm going to focus on the modules you can select depending on which qualification you have been admitted onto. And then I also want to give you some more information about distance learning with Milpark, just to put your mind at ease and to calm your nerves. Mzwa, who's one of our Johannesburg sales supervisors, will also show you the how-to of registering on our My Milpark portal. So I'm going to run through 4 of our qualifications and just give you information about the qualification on the slide. So you will know which qualification you have been admitted onto. So listen up when we get to that one. The first one is the Higher Certificate in Financial Planning, which is on NQF level 5. In total, you have to do 6 modules in order to complete the certificate. And you can see there are 4 compulsory modules and 2 electives. We highly suggest that you register first for the module called Introduction to Financial Planning Environment. So if you want to start it off slow and just ease into the qualification and just do 1 module this semester, please register for Introduction to Financial Planning Environment. If, however, you decide to do 2 modules, we also recommend that as your second module, you then take Financial Planning Income Tax, or FPIT. If you are planning on completing the qualification in 1 year, which is the minimum duration for the qualification, you have to decide from the start which electives you are going to do, because the electives, some of them are only offered in 1 semester. So, for example, if you want to take wills and administration of deceased estates, that only runs in semester 1. So it is important for you to then register for that this semester already. Note that our High Certificate in Financial Planning is recognized by the FSCA as a qualification to adhere to the education requirements as per the FAYES Act, and that upon completion of the certificate, you can apply to the Financial Planning Institute for the designation of Registered Financial Planner. Then the next qualification is our Advanced Certificate in Financial Planning. So that's 1 step up, that's on NQF level 6. Again, there are 6 modules that you have to complete, and the minimum duration is also 1 year, with the maximum duration being 3 years. If you only want to register for 1, or you are starting off with the qualification, we highly recommend that you start with legal aspects of financial planning. If you want to take 2 modules, please register for taxation for financial planners, Tax P, as your second module. Again, there are electives to choose from here, but they run in both semesters, so it is not as important at this point in time to choose your elective. And I want to correct myself. Trust law only runs in semester 2. So if you choose business management for financial planners, you can do that in either semester 1 or semester 2. But if you want to do trust law, that is only available next semester. So again, then it is important to plan your studies to know if you want to complete it in 1 semester or 2 semesters, 3 semesters, 4 semesters, so that you know when you need to register for trust law, if that is the elective that you choose. Another important thing to just note with the advanced certificate in financial planning is that practical application for financial planners has to be the last module that you register for. So you will never be able to register for prac, as we call it, in your first semester with us. Moving on then to our short-term qualifications. The first one being the higher certificate in short-term insurance. Same story here. You have to do 6 modules in order to complete the certificate. There are 4 compulsories and then quite a lot of electives for you to choose from. Here we do not have a specific order or progression that we recommend, so you have a little bit more freedom to decide what you feel up to or what you are interested in a specific semester. Please note, however, that construction insurance is not available this year and will only be on offer again in semester 1 next year. If you look at the electives, it is important to note again that they aren't offered in all the semesters. So have a look at the outlines of the electives that you can find on our fact sheets on our website. Decide which elective you want to take and then plan your studies accordingly. For the short-term qualifications, we have an arrangement with the Insurance Institute of South Africa, and upon completion of the qualification, you will qualify for the designation of licentiate of the Insurance Institute of South Africa. We also have an agreement with the Chartered Insurance Institute in the United Kingdom, and upon completion of this qualification, you have to, if you do 1 additional module with the CII, you would also become a member, a certificate holder of the CII. And this qualification, the high certificate, is also recognized by the FSCA as a qualification that adheres to the education requirements as per the FAYS Act. The last qualification that I want to quickly touch on is our advanced certificate in short-term insurance. Same story again. 6 modules that you need to do to complete the qualification. There are 4 compulsory modules, and then you need to choose 2 electives. When you look at these electives, management and leadership and marketing management practices are 2 of the options. However, please note that you can't choose both of them. So you need to choose an insurance-related elective, being motor insurance or reinsurance, and then you can also choose one of the general commerce electives, marketing management or management and leadership. If you are not interested in the generic or more generic commerce electives, you are welcome to take both the insurance electives, and then motor insurance is offered in semester 1 and reinsurance is offered in semester 2. Upon completion of the advanced certificate, you qualify for the designation of associate of the Insurance Institute of South Africa, provided that all other requirements are met. Then I think if you've taken the step to qualify for or to apply for admission onto a qualification, you are very interested in furthering your education, but it seems like you might be a little bit hesitant to just take that next step and to register. So I want to spend a little bit of time to just tell you about how distance learning works in order to put your minds at ease. So firstly, it's important to understand that we as Milpark focus on a self-paced learning environment, and we try to make it as flexible and accessible as possible. All of our learnings take place online, which means that you can literally study from anywhere at any time. The qualifications that we just looked at are all focused or built on 2 semesters. So there is a semester 1, which we are busy with registration now, and then the exams take place in May and or June. And then semester 2 starts in July, with the exams being in October and November. You can take maximum 3 modules per semester. If you take 3 in semester 1 and 3 in semester 2, and you pass everything the first time round, then you complete the qualification in the minimum duration, which is 1 year. The qualifications are designed for self-study, but there is a lot of online support. And then we have some fixed assessment due dates. So you have certain due dates within the qualification or within the module, but the rest of the time, it's about self-study and working around your schedule, be it at work or at home. We do, however, provide you with a study plan to give you some guidance and to just help you pace yourself. If you look at our My Milpark platform, which is our virtual learning environment, there is a lot of support available on there. You have access to your study guides in electronic format. We also, however, send you a hard copy study guide. You have access to an online tutor for any academic queries that you might have, and the tutor will respond within 2 business days. There is the functionality to connect with other students. There's the functionality to book some one-on-one virtual time with your lecturer. You have access to support material. You have access to live classes and recorded classes. You have access to our Milpark library, and then all your assessments also take place online. In terms of assessments, we divide them into 2 categories. The one is formative, so that is leading up to the exam, and then the other is the exam, or we call it the summative assessment. Formative assessments comprise of either 1 or 2 online tests that you do online, as the name suggests, and you typically have a week to do the online test. And online tests are in multiple choice question format. And then you have a submission, which is more of a project that you will get questions and you need to type your answers in Word and submit that to us online as well. The online tests aren't compulsory, but the submission of your assignment is compulsory. So if you've submitted your assignment, you automatically gain entrance into the exam, the summative assessment. And the summative assessment is then written on a specific day and will also be online. We use software called Proctorio to invigilate you while you are writing your exam. So you can, again, write it at home, at the office, at any place that you wish to do. It's just about being online at the specific day and time of your exam. And then in some instances, we also have our exams as a more project-based submission, where we give you anything between 3 days and 3 weeks to complete your project and then submit it online. Your formative assessments contribute 30% to your final mark, and your summative assessment 70%. In order to pass a module, you need to obtain a sub-minimum mark of 40% in the final summative assessment, the exam, and an overall mark of 50%. Should you not meet those requirements, but you meet other requirements, then we will also afford you the opportunity to write a supplementary exam. So as you can see, we've been, as an institution, we've been doing online learning or distance learning since 1997, and we have designed our platform and our assessments to make it as accessible as possible for you. And we specifically cater for working adults, understanding that you have to maintain a balance between work and study and family time as well. So we give you as much flexibility as possible. If you want to register for semester 1, please remember that close of registration is the 18th of February. Mzwa, in a bit, will take you through the registration process, the buttons you need to click, the documents you need to provide us with in order to register. If you have a little bit more questions about which module to choose, you're welcome to type it in the chat box, or you can select the poll at the bottom to ask us to phone you back, And then one of our sales consultants will phone you and talk you through your module options to help you make the right decision. Once you have registered for your first module, you will be invited to an induction session. Depending on which qualification you are admitted onto, the dates are provided on the screen. And in the induction session, you will spend an hour to an hour and a half with one of our academics in the School of Financial Planning and Insurance. And the academic will take you in detail through the virtual learning environment. What is where do you find the tutor? Where do you find your assignments? Where do you find your ebook and the support material? In the induction sessions, we will also cover in more detail the online proctored exams. And it's really designed to help you take that step in understanding what the virtual learning environment is about so that you can confidently start with your studies and start preparing for your first assessment. I will just stop my presentation to see if there are any questions at the moment. And then I will hand over to Mzwa. Let's just see. There are 2 questions that I just quickly want to open here, saying, what happens if we fail a module? Do we have, as the advisor, have to repay to do the whole module? So it depends on the results that you obtain. If you receive between 45 and 50%, so 50, remember, is the pass requirement. So if you get between 45 and 50%, then we will offer you a supplementary exam. The supplementary exam, depending on the module, will either be within 6 days to a month's time after the results have been released, or will be at the end of the following semester. So we have either immediate supplementary exams or next opportunity, which is at the end of the next semester. If you, however, get less than 45%, then you have to redo the module. So that is why we encourage you to really spend time on your formative assessments to make sure that you do the online tests, even though they aren't compulsory, and that you really spend time on your assignment so that you have a good formative mark. And then the pressure is off on your summative assessment, then you don't have to do as well in your summative in order to pass the module. But yes, we offer supplementary exams. There are a couple of modules where we don't, but it will be clearly indicated in the assessment guidelines document that you get when you start the module. And we tell you all the details there about the supplementary opportunities, the qualifying criteria, and when the SUP will be offered. What qualification do you need in order to be able to register, asks Balisa. Balisa, it depends on which qualification you are looking to register for. So perhaps you can expand on your question. Tell us if you want to register for a higher certificate or an advanced certificate, and if you want to do it in financial planning or short-term insurance, and then we'll give you some more information there, or select the poll that we can phone you back afterwards and give you that information. And then Rishal is asking, when we do download Proctorio, do we just get a link before the exam dates to use to enter the exam? So Proctorio, as I mentioned, is the software we use to invigilate our exams. What we do is we have one of your online tests also take place using Proctorio to make sure that you get comfortable with the software before we get to the exam day, because we know that on the exam day, students are very stressed and don't want to worry about software or plugins as well. So we've designed lesson plans that you need to do before your online test. And the lesson plan is all about Proctorio, what to do, how to do a room scan, how to scan your ID, what to do if it gives you an error, that kind of thing. And then once you've done your lesson plans and it's time for your online test, you can do the online test with Proctorio to try it out. And we also give you access to mock exams using Proctorio, where you can do it multiple times to make sure that you get comfortable with the software. Then obviously on the exam day, you need to use Proctorio. If things go awry and you have issues on the day, we have a technical support team that is available as a chat function, just like we are chatting here today. And the technical support team will help you resolve the issues on the day to make sure that you can actually start your exam and finish your exam using Proctorio. And then obviously, if there are issues and we're not able to resolve the issue from your side or from our side on the day of the exam, then we defer you at no cost to the next exam opportunity. And then you have, then you can take the exam at the next opportunity. I see just one more question before I hand over to Mzwa. Zintle is asking, can you do a higher certificate in financial planning for the first 12 months, then do advanced in short term the following year? Zintle, unfortunately, that is not an option. If you do a higher certificate in financial planning, then you can do an advanced certificate in financial planning, but you can't jump from financial planning level 5 to short term level 6. Because it's not just about the numbers, it being level 5, 6, 7, or 8. It is about the content that we cover in the qualification. So in a level 5 qualification, we give you the foundational knowledge, be it on financial planning or on short term. And then when you move up to level 6, we assume that you already have that baseline knowledge. So if you've obtained your baseline knowledge in financial planning, it won't really include short-term insurance principles. So it will then be very difficult to go to a level 6 in short-term insurance. However, if you do the high certificate in financial planning, we offer an elective being personal lines insurance. So you can get some exposure to short-term insurance with your elective, but still you can't go high certificate financial planning and then jump to advanced certificate in short-term insurance. Balisa, I see you're back. I couldn't answer you because I'm not sure which qualification you want to register for. So if you'll just tell us which qualification you are interested in, then Tracy will tell you about the requirements in the chat while I hand over to Mzwa. As I said, Mzwa is one of our sales supervisors in Johannesburg. He deals with the ins and outs of registration of students. He manages a whole team of support staff, and he's quickly going to show you what to do now that you know that you want to register for your next module, where to go on our system, and which buttons to press. Thank you, Mzwa.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much for that introduction. Thanks to everyone for joining us today and taking your time on your busy schedules. We really appreciate all of that. Okay, so before we proceed, I know there might be plenty of questions that you might actually be having regarding your registration queries that you may have encountered with the student advisor. I think now is actually a right time for you to ask those questions, just for you to get clarity. But more than that, you're more than welcome to also contact us after the session and be able to engage with myself or any of my colleagues so that we can be able to assist you. Okay, so we've noticed that there's been many queries from different students that are unsure in terms of their registration as to how do you move forward from where you stand. So the first thing that we want you to know is that we are here to assist, and our platforms are there in order for you to get the assistance that you need. So in front of me here, you will see a screen that shows a student that is unsure in terms of what they need to do. This is clearly a working professional. The first thing you need to do is to go to our website. So obviously, after you've done that, you engage with the student acquisition advisor. You then can be able to contact us on our line, which is 086 999 0001. And of course, you will press 1 for sales there. And then, of course, from that point, the student advisor should be able to take you from the beginning of your entire admission all the way to your entire registration. So just to unpack a little bit about that, if you go to our website, you should be able to see the entire steps that are outlined in terms of the entire application process that we've got. So first things first, you need to make sure that you do qualify for that program that you want to apply for. As Peter has highlighted a few questions that amongst all of you have been having, you will then engage with the student advisor. And then in terms of everything, you will then follow up that with you going into the website And then after that, obviously, it will take you all the way to the last step, which is you registering for the qualification of what you're looking for. Now, just to unpack that, in addition, we noticed that we've got several number of students at Milpark. You might be a new student, you might be a returning student, you might be a continuing student. But in this case, you will not be sure in terms of maybe perhaps you're not sure what type of a student are you. Then the description at the bottom there will be able to show you exactly what type of a student you are. So if you are a returning student, it means that you're a student that is applying for the first time on that specific program. However, if you are a returning student, it means that you're currently starting with Milpark for another different program. And then thirdly, if you are a continuing student, you're currently continuing from the chosen program into the next semester or the academic year, of course. So all of this information is contained by our website. Once you've selected the type of a student that you are, you will realize that the next page that you will be taken to should be this page. This is now the online admission page. If you have been admitted successfully, then it means you've already seen this page. But if you have not, it means that you need to pass through this page here and be able to provide us all of that information. You will realize, ladies and gentlemen, that the information here that we require, it's the course type, the actual course, as well as your identity document, your identity number, just to correct myself. And we also cater for international students. Now, these are our foreign national students. If you are within a list of foreign national students, please feel free to contact the student advisor and you will be able to be assisted furthermore. Just to outline also the process and the steps that we've got in the background, there's been many questions by different students asking us what exactly happens to my information after I've submitted. Well, worry not, here's the answer for you. After you've provided us your information, the information obviously will be captured into our systems. Once that is done, it will be then sent to another department that does the verification. So what that department does, basically, they are in charge of making sure that the documents that you've provided are correct and they are clear for us to validate everything that is from those documentations. Once the processing department has completed doing all of that, they will send it to the academic processing team. Now, this is the program managers as well as the entire team that does with the verification of the actual application of what you've applied for in terms of the program. Once that stage has passed, the great part is that you will then be a finalized student, and it means the registration has been completed. Now, this is the part that means your registration is entirely completed and you have successfully selected the modules that you would like to study for. And also, in addition to that, you have now, you are currently now probably waiting for your documentations for them to be sent to you. And remember, within all of these stages, ladies and gentlemen, the great part is that you will be assisted with all the stages. Your student acquisition advisor should be able to take you through. And if you've got any questions during those stages, you're more than welcome to ask, and they'll be able to assist you right away. The entire process, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not interrupted, we try our level best to make sure that this is attended with speed. And of course, right now, if you're submitting everything, we should be able to assist you the next day and be able to finalize everything probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. But if there is any outstanding documentation, we do communicate with you and be able to let you know what documents are those and request them from you, of course. Now, just to also dive into those documents that we require, I want to also specify the fact that within the list of documents that we need, we do not need you to certify those documents. So this means that you can send us uncertified documents just to make it easy for you. Now, first document would be your identity documents. This is your ID, copy of your ID. If you have changed your surname, we do require a marriage certificate. And furthermore, if you are applying with us, we do require a matric as a minimum requirement and other applicable qualifications if you want to apply for further qualifications. Now, I want to also specify, ladies and gentlemen, that we do notice the fact that some students are struggling to have the actual certificates. So at the present moment, we do allow you that you can provide us a statement of results for your qualifications, and then also later on provide us the actual copies of those certificates. So now in that case, it means that if you don't have your actual matric certificate, it means we do give you time for you to go back and collect that while you've given us the statement of results, of course. Furthermore, the signed admission and signed registration form is something that we also need, as well as if you are a PGDIP student, we do need the CV and the letter from the employer. And also, if you are a foreign national student, as stated that we work with many students around South Africa and abroad, we do understand that you would like to study with us. So we do need the study permit as well as the passport for you as a student. And ladies and gentlemen, with all of these documents, if it does happen that you're experiencing difficulty, our student advisors, the great thing is that they are well trained to assist you to the best of their abilities, to assist you and give you also follow-ups to make sure that you provide all of the documents. I also like to emphasize that most of our delays that we experience with most registrations are mainly drawing from these documents that we're looking at in front of us here. So these are mostly the documents that tend to delay a lot of registrations, because you'd find that we're missing a couple of them and we cannot proceed further until we obviously obtain those documents. So I'd like to urge each and every one of you to make sure that if you know your registration currently is being delayed by any of these documents, please contact myself and maybe you can send them through to your student acquisition advisor so that we can make sure that we try and speed up your entire registration and make sure that you are entirely assisted. Just to also add on the part of you communicating with us, ladies and gentlemen, my number, the number that you can contact us on, I just want to repeat that, it's 086 999 0001. And of course, you can send me an email directly. You can send that straight. My colleagues are going to put my email on the chat box just to make sure that you also have that. It is mzwandile.masuku@milpark.ac.za. And of course, you're more than welcome that you can also be in touch with your student advisor and complete where you have left off with them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to also emphasize the fact that for us to be able to proceed and be able to finalize everything, please, we urge that you communicate with us and let us give you the assistance that you deserve in terms of sharing your information with us in time and be able to try and speed up the entire application for you. Okay, so from my side, I want to say thank you very much for the moment that you've given us. And of course, I'm going to hand it over back to Petro for her to finalize the entire session. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mzwa. I've got a question here for you from Neelan. Perhaps you can give Neelan some more information. He says he's done admissions for 2 modules. So he's registered for 2 modules and the consultant has sent him the application, but he hasn't signed it off yet. And he now wants to change the modules. Based on what he's seen today, he now wants to choose a different module. What is the process? And until when does Neelan have to make these changes?
That's a very good question. So Neelan, to answer your question, you're more than welcome to contact myself or your advisor. You can be able to change your modules right now because your application hasn't entirely been finalized. So because the registration, as Petra has highlighted, that we have until the 18th of February, I would urge that you communicate with us after this call so that we can be able to assist you with those changes and finalize your entire registrations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mza. It doesn't seem like there are any other questions. So you've got Tracy put in the chat for you the details of the financial planning program manager and the short-term insurance program manager. You've also got Mzwa's details. You've got the details of our website where you can also contact the sales team. So I will end the session here unless there are other questions. I want to thank you for joining us quickly on this Wednesday morning. And I want to say that we are very excited as the team of academics in the School of Financial Planning and Insurance to have you on our qualifications, to register on our modules. We are passionate about our students and our modules, and we'd love to be on this learning journey with you. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we look forward to seeing you in class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.